So we have a few different things to catch up on, and obviously the first thing we should probably cover is what's been going on with the Discord bots, because I know alerts have been a bit sporadic and sometimes hard to follow. They weren't working, then they weren't working, and they were kind of all over the place. I got banned, IP banned by Cloudflare, who runs all the connections to Discord. Okay, they flagged our bot as a spam bot, and this isn't related to the AI bots. This is literally just for the trade tracker bot. So, as of right now, we are still banned. Our AWS server is banned. Now, the bots obviously are back up, as I just gave reports on. And the reason for that is we rebuilt them entirely from a desktop version. And not only that, but we gave some pretty crazy updates to them to make them more precise. So this is my bot, Abe's bot, and the TradingView bot are all back up and running now. And you can see here, this is tracking all the orders for both our bots as well. So all of this is the actual program running. So all of this has now been corrected. We've also given an update to the authorization system. So like the way these work is we have to generate these Schwab tokens, right? So anyways, this is just a back end, a developer thing, the instructions to run this program, because honestly, it's something that could be maybe sold to other traders as a product, because this also is what reports everything to the performance tracker. So we also had to make sure there was no gap in the performance tracker for the trades that were being taken. We had to make sure everything's running on time. You guys don't really care about the technical stuff. So anyways, that's back up. Now, let's talk about markets, okay? ARM getting a big dump here. Looks like earnings call isn't going well, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about here is Oracle giving us this beautiful setup here, okay? If we look, the daily was kind of rolling over, but is now giving full confirmation. It's running a little bit hot here, but things can run really hot when they're about to hit major breakouts. So this 192 that we cleared today was a massive key level, okay? So from here, I think we're just going to start over the next few months, just taking out all these key levels. So this is where we can start sizing up big, okay? Like, we sized up on things like SMR, and we were up 50% there. And this is over our key levels. So this is where we start taking out these targets, in my opinion. We already had the big slam win on Irene as it gives the breakout confirmation. This thing also does not look done, in my opinion. It's running a little bit hot, but I think, it's running more than a little bit hot, to be quite honest. But notice, for this name, we've been taking 60, 70%. But with the setup that we have, I was like, this is where I hold. We're up 170% right here on this position. This is where I think we're going to soon see from SMR, or we're soon going to see from Oracle. This looks beautiful. A beautiful breakout. AI bot caught this one too. It's also in this. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. Even things like Tesla, surprisingly to me, are starting to really set up. This one, I'm a little mad with myself. I feel like I've really been pussyfooting around this name. But someone pointed out to me, what is your win rate with Tesla? Because you're killing this. It's pretty high. I've got really good reads with this one. And just looking at this, the way that this is coiling, you failed the major breakdown, right? Okay, we failed the major breakdown, tried to break down through it again, couldn't get held underneath there, quick reclaims, and now you're about to break out of this consolidation back to the upside. The weekly is starting to turn. Tesla back to 500 could easily be on the table, which would be surprising. We do get the SpaceX launch in June. So saying launch is wrong, is a bit misconstruing for a rocket company. But by launch, I mean they get their IPO in June, right? But So I think you could get a massive rally out of this name. If we look at IonQ and the after hours, IonQ, oh, actually, did it sell off? It was gapping up. Now it's selling off a bit. I wonder, with all these kind of giving up their after hours market move, if that was actually related to a headline. I don't see any headlines about Iran, but they really did us a favor being just shutting up today. That was quite enjoyable, not having many headlines after that kind of like morning turmoil, because they really threw off that rally. I would still keep an eye on IonQ tomorrow, though. Because if they can hold this level, if they could get this pop over this, it was at 255. 255.73 is really where this thing can explode. So I'm going to go ahead and set the alert here now. But, you know, nice rounded bottom. And like a lot of names, set that higher low and look like they want to begin the next rally to the all-time highs. Irene especially, like, this thing's a little overbought. You know, you could see some retrace, set up some bull flags. You know, some of these bull flags could be extended like this one. 70 looks in the table, all-time high, something like 100, totally doable. When we look at something like HIMS here, we have this really nice bull flag formation. It looks like it wants to get a continuation higher. Looks absolutely gorgeous, okay? So this is where things actually get excited. You know, could we still get a rug in the June? Yeah, we might see a pullback in June, especially since things are running so hot here. It would not surprise me at all if we saw some sort of pullback, but I think that pullback is definitely buy, and I don't think it'll hit the whole market. And kind of with the way the market structure is right here too, it's kind of, I kind of want to see this. I kind of don't want this rally to broaden out. It's an AI story. We kind of want the market to stay top heavy, because if it starts to broaden out, it could actually kill the rally on the indexes from where it's at right here. So, you know, and that's a pivot in our thesis due to the mapping we had not playing out. It's a different kind of rally than we thought. I thought we'd get the full reset mid-year, and then we'd get like a broad rally into the end of the year. But this looks actually like the continuation of bubble. But I still don't think we're even close to 2,000. So, you know, we ride it on up. And I think something like this should be pretty easy to time the highs. Actually, when we're talking about timing highs, there's a few other names I really like, by the way. I'll be posting them in Trade Ideas as they pop up. But there's a few other ones that haven't quite given the signal yet. But look really good in this environment. MU here with this parabolic move on the daily. Now the daily is giving us some confirmations, but something to take note of here is how extended the weekly is, and how it's not giving momentum confirmations. If we look at the monthly, we see the same thing here. Like, we are super extended on the monthly with no confirmations from the RSI. So it's not it looks like it's not a high. And what I mean by that, I mean, to me, this is where I would take off huge profits, because this looks similar to June for NVIDIA. Okay, this was the same kind of structure we saw here, right? But set a new ridiculous high. RSI gave no confirmations, and then this thing spent a full year before it started in the next real rally. It set some, you know, intra-week highs. You know, had weeks where it kind of rallied over, but then puked them up, and then puked it up, and it took a full year of consolidation before it hit a new high. I feel like that's where you're at for MU and SNDK. Now, that said, I tried some SNDK puts, didn't do so hot. But I think you want to keep a really close eye on this. I think especially if you get that May, June dip, I think these things are going to get clapped. They're going to have pretty major pullbacks here. Similar to what we saw NVIDIA back in June, okay? June of 2024, I believe. Right? So, you know, I'm trying to see what percent retracement that was. I want to guess it was like, okay, it was a 35% retracement, okay? I was going to guess 20. But so keep that in mind that you could see these major pullbacks. The fundamentals on the video were great then too, right? Okay, right? It's just that what is the market priced in? Okay, as the market priced in more than it should have in too fast of a time frame and needs a reset, probably. Okay, you know, that was actually a name that I've been watching. This thing's setting up really beautifully as well. There's a lot of stocks like this. This one isn't quite as clean as other ones because I kind of want to see the higher low. You know, you kind of got it here, but it's kind of ugly. But this is another one you want to keep an eye on. You know, get over 1130. Look at that giant gap. Market loves to fill gaps to the upside, okay? And it likes to do them fast. So, you know, this is another one of those where you can keep it on your radar. Don't let it slip off your radar. Good time to also note, someone mentioned MP. They entered MP in their trade contest. For those of you who don't know, MP is our largest stock position right now, and it's looking just beautiful. I've kind of paper-handed some call options on this one, but, you know, I don't have much FOMO because it is our largest stock position. So it's like 15, it was 15% of my portfolio back in the high 40s. So here, you know, obviously we're feeling amazing. So, and I don't really see any reason to take profits because it looks like it's about to clear this double top and send it higher. So, because the weekly is just now firing on this. So this is another name where, you know, I have my fair valuation of MP at 125. I'll probably take profits before we get there though. But as a strategic necessity for war and a more dangerous world, you know, obviously the global world order is been dead. It was dead, and then when the Iran stuff happened, they were shooting the dead body repeatedly. Okay, so something like MP, which you know, is a national security issue, who makes most of the magnets for all the drones and missiles, right, and also needed for space and robots, becomes a necessity that they have to defend. So lots of plays like that, lots of great things on this market. Okay, I'll try not to make this video too long, so we're gonna end it here. Yeah, God bless, guys. You know, I really feel like, you know, it's already been, you know, I honestly should have made more money than I did today because I sold that SNDK spread. Oh, I pulled an Abe. That's Abe's trademark card. I sold a spread on AMD and a spread on SNDK. I actually made money on that SNDK spread, even though it gave me a ton of pain this morning. And at the same time, actually, you know what we didn't talk about was CEG. Well, let me pull this back up real quick. Let me spend 30 seconds on this. This looks gorgeous, and we're just now getting the weekly. But, man, this name, and I even was pretty light on this dip buy, but you might remember, like, we bought this dip, we bought this dip, and didn't feel good either time I bought them. And then I bought this dip at the 314 when we were back testing the bullish EMA, and it fires right back up, closes above 320. That's all I need. Just please hold 320. But holy cow, is this name really likes to test my hands. I think there's been some bag holders that are kind of getting out at this level, and they're kind of missing the bigger picture, which always happens after stocks go through periods of stagnation. There is points of resistance back up because there's bag holders at higher prices that are like, oh, I finally came back to my entry, I'm gonna get out, right? You know, and those people are, you know, they don't do well in markets, but that's what happens. I was gonna say much meaner things, but there's no point. They're already, you know, you don't really need to get people when they're already down. So I think this thing's about to explode, though, higher, and yeah, man, yeah. That thing, the CEG was kicking my butt this morning, along with that SNDK and an AMD, the AMD spread. You know, when AMD was up 25 after earnings, I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. 30, it was like 30 points was priced in. And then I check this morning, and I'm, you know, at like 7:30 a.m., hour before the market opens, and it's up 50 points. And I'm like, oh no. So I took Max loss on that one. I don't think anyone followed that one because I like posted it, but I was like the bot's not working, and I know people who follow me don't trade like Abe most of the time, and people who follow Abe trade like that. Um, so I don't think anyone else attempted that one, but that was. Be happy you did it. We made it back into the close, and the CEG dip came in well. And I think even Him's orders into the close are looking pretty good because I added some Hims because I just like that bullfight formation. Just like with CEG, I'm like they're trying to burn me out, but the setup's too good. You know, even that addition on Hims, like we've stayed green on the, I guess the August is more flat, but we're up on the Junes and the Mays are coming back nicely into the close today. So I think man, you know, I think the market's just gonna keep ripping it. And climb that wall of worry. I'm not even certain that some explosive event in Iran will be enough to stop the rally. So you might get some sort of emotional reaction from the market, but does the energy crisis really stop the AI train? Not really, especially when a lot of the local, especially when we as a country, we're not an energy importer. So prices might go up, but it might raise expenses. So the market I price that in. But I think the rally continues. It's just the signals we're getting here are just too strong. So that's my thoughts. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. I'm sorry about the chaos of the bots, but as you can see, we are back up and running better than before, which is what usually happens after technical difficulties. We usually then just become more robust. So now we have the centralized program that I can run here, right where I'm also taking all the trades, and then the backup on the server. So then that we hadn't done with the trade bots, but we've already done with the AI. AI actually runs off multiple servers, both in cloud and local to prevent any downtime. But, you know, we're becoming more robust, and that is a good thing. And this market is, I mean, just, let's go. Get excited. God bless, guys.